Hi my friends, it's Magical Mandy, and I'm going to be doing something super exciting today. I am going to show you how I have created my very own bone throwing or charm throwing casting kit. I've done a lot of research on the subject because I thought it was a really cool form of divination, and the more I researched, the more I just fell in love with it. And I discovered that this form of divination has been used pretty much worldwide in so many cultures since like the very beginning, ancient times, because it is so easy to use. You just use things that you find around, bones, you know, rocks, jewelry, charms, whatever, and you don't like have to have a mat or anything. Like in the ancient times, they would just draw a circle in the sand, and that was where they cast their bones. And you, the user, the creator of the bone throwing kit, you attach the meaning to the bones, the charms in your set. And so I love that it's very personal to each individual user. And so I think that this is a very exciting kind of divination, and it's just so personal. And I had it in the back of my mind for months that I wanted to get into this form of divination, or at least learn about it and maybe make my own kit. And I, you know, had a board on Pinterest and I was studying it, but the very day that I said, okay, it's time to do this, I'm gonna make my kit, I'm gonna start actively looking for, I have the bones, I always have bones, but for the charms and everything to complete my kit, like that very day, the universe started providing amazing, like perfect charms and little whatnots, you know, to be the symbols for the life events that I wrote down that I said I wanted in my kit. Like, I didn't want to confuse it. Like, you can have as much in your set as you want, but I think especially if you're going to be reading for other people, it's important to kind of keep it concise and just maybe include the major themes in life, like love, grief, things like that. I'll read it off to you, and I think I have like 13 major life themes in my set. And once I started looking for, you know, ask and you shall receive. Once I started looking for the charms to complete my set, the universe just threw them in my face. They were there. And that's what's so beautiful about this form of divination is, you know, it's very personal. It's very unique to each practitioner. And so if you're at all interested in it, I just recommend that you put a call out to the universe that you are looking for items to make your bone charm casting kit, and I promise you the universe will provide. So what I'm gonna do in today's video is I'm going to show you how I made what I use is a pillowcase. How fun is that? And that way I can just put all of my charms inside the pillowcase, and the pillowcase is the mat. So it's all there together. And upon my research, I found a guy who, I can't remember his name right now, but I'll link him in the description below. He made a very concise, very, it has all the information you could need about making your charm casting mat. And it's perfect for beginners, because like you can use a basket or just any kind of like cloth, you know, if you know in your mind what part of the mat or the basket represents what. But if we're beginners, it can be a little overwhelming. So I like that this guy made a template that shows like this part means this, this means this, and so I just wrote it all out with where is it? I have a fabric marker. It's a Sharpie stained, and you could use any kind of fabric marker, anything. You could even use, I think for my first one, that I made, I used just a paint marker. And it kind of, I mean, it's not super bright, but, you know, it shows well enough. And you just write out, you know, what part means what. Anyway, I'll show you in the video later. I'm so eloquently worded. So anyway, it's super fun, and definitely check him out. He said, you know, you can use the template as long as you give him credit, and I will. I just can't remember his name right now. So it's perfect for beginners who need to memorize, you know, and it's totally okay to do like practice readings for yourself, because I mean, it's so personal to you. You know, you put the meaning, you give each item meaning, and so it's great for beginners. And as you get better, you know, you can stop using the beginner's mat and move up to like a more traditional like woven basket or something like that, or just stick with it, whatever. But I think it can adapt with the person, and I think the charms and bones used over time could probably change and adapt as well. So anyway, let's get right into it. I'm going to start out by showing you the meanings that I've attached to each charm, and then I'll show you the mat I created and kind of how to use it. So we'll go from there. So let's get started. Alright guys, so I had it saved on my phone, so I had to write down all my charms and their meanings in this little notebook. Look, my kid got it for me for Mother's Day. I love it. So I just wrote it down here so it would be easier for me to tell you all about it, and then I'll take it out and put it in my grimoire for safekeeping. So let me show you. I keep my charms in this little bag that I got from my friend Chris, who's the one I'm also making the casting mat for. And so that's pretty cool. And I just put them in here, and then I put them inside the pillowcase, and this is what I use to actually like cast them, to throw them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take each item out, tell you what it is, tell you how I found it, and what meaning it holds for me, and what life theme I placed it under. So the first one we have is a broken rib piece. And this one is significant. I have it written down, all the like what you would call negative or challenging life themes. They're down here in green, and the more happier ones are up here in purple. Let me amend my previous statement that I only had 13 themes. I think I intended on only having 13, but it kind of grew because, like I said, the universe, once I put out the call that I was looking for my charms, the universe provided so many that I've had to use them and find more meaning. So I think how many you have in your kit will depend on what the universe sends you and what works for you. So anyway, the broken rib means trauma. You see, he's broken, so that will represent trauma in my kit, because you can see the rib has experienced trauma. So that's pretty cool. So next, I'm just pulling them out randomly. Next, I'm a pre-K teacher, so a lot of these fun little toys just kind of come into my life, and I have no idea where they came from, which student. Like, they're just in my life. Like, toys will end up in my purse or something from like 2 years ago. And so anyway, this little dog, he stands for loyalty, as dogs do. So that'll be perfect. I won't be able to forget that meaning. Let's see what's next. Ooh, okay. We have this little pelvic bone, tiny little pelvic bone. It probably came from a, I don't know, not even a cat because it's so small. A rat, maybe? Guinea pig? Something small. So let me see. Where is that? Maybe I should go in order, because then I won't be struggling to find. Okay, it's a tailbone, and it signifies death, because the animal had to die for me to have this. Not that I killed it. No, it's been ethically sourced. All my bones have. But, you know, death. The bone represents death. So, let's see. Oh, cute. This little fish toy. And, you know, me using toys works for me personally because I'm a pre-K teacher and I'm super mature and crazy like that. But your bone throwing kit may look totally different and may not include toys, and that's what's so cool about it. So let me see, what did I have the fish as? You know what? I don't think I even have the fish as anything. It just kind of ended up there. So I might have to attach a meaning to this little guy, or maybe give him to Chris. Maybe he's not meant for my kit. I don't know, but he showed up. Okay, so I have a shell, and shells are, along with the bones, they are traditionally used in bone throwing, charm casting sets, kits. And I assigned the shell to stand for beauty, Aphrodite, that kind of thing. So that's what it makes me think of, is beauty. This is very natural beauty to me. So that's the meaning that I gave to that. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one, okay? Now, I'm a Christian witch. And so I love my Jesus. I love God. And you would think that because of that, my cross would mean, you know, a more positive thing. However, the more I learn of what the early Christians and what they're still doing to my pagan brothers and sisters, and how they pretty much just wiped out the Druids and all that, and even Christians within themselves cannot agree. And it's been a crazy history, and it's my history. And so for me, the cross means discord, and let's see what else. Yep, discord, because hasn't the Christian faith been full of discord? And so that's what my beautiful cross is going to remind me of, is how my faith has just been a subject of discord between Christians and other religions, and Christians and even themselves. So that's the meaning I placed on that. And like I said, you can place whatever meaning you want on anything. So this little guy is a prism pig that it goes on a light switch, and I'm 4'11", so I'm super short, so I always have to use these guys. They have a chain, you know, and you attach them to like your ceiling fan to pull, so you can reach it, because I can't reach normal ones. But this one came from my childhood, because since I was 3 years old, I've collected pigs. I've always loved pigs. I have a huge, extensive pig collection. And so because this guy is from my actual childhood, I've had it since I was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. This stands for childhood. So that's what he means. He stands for childhood. So let's see what's next. This is fun. I like this. Oh, this is a good one. So this is a desert rose. And I actually have a lot of these because they come from the desert, obviously, and so do I. I live in central Louisiana, but I was born in New Mexico, and I miss the desert. I miss the sunsets in the desert. I miss the wide open sky, and so these guys just remind me of home. And so that's what the desert rose means to me in my charm casting kit, is home. Especially if you are transplanted away from home, as I am. Not to say I don't love central Louisiana, because I do, but I do miss New Mexico. So let's see what's next. Ooh, dice, and it is a very antique, old, stained die, and the dice for me means fortune, as it does. So that's pretty cool, and I love the patina of this antique die. It just kind of goes with the feel of a traditional bone throwing kit. I know that's kind of thrown off by the cute little toys and stuff, but it just feels super witchy to me. But that's what my witchcraft is, man. It's like, it's a mix between like traditional and then just cute, pink, fun, you know, craziness. That's just who I am. And then look, oh, I have this cute little Lego guy with the coat of arms or whatever, the crest. And so because of the crest, he stands for family. You know, he's got his family crest. So to me, he makes me think of family. So isn't that great? And then, you know, kids play with Legos, kids and family, all that. If you hear my ferrets in the background, they're playing. Pay no attention to their cage. It's a mess. All right, and then I live in Louisiana, so Mardi Gras is super big here. And so, of course, I have a Mardi Gras king cake baby. They go in the king cake, and if you get the slice of cake that has the baby, you are said to have good fortune and good luck, and you have to bring the next king cake because you will be able to afford it. So let's see what I had that as. I had the baby as fertility. Ooh, imagine that. And that doesn't just have to mean like reproduction fertility. It can be like fertile in like the abundance, you know, like good fortune and abundance, like the baby found in the king cake means. So that's fertility. Let's see what's next. Oh, we have a witch's burr, and of course it has string all over it. It's my life. I'm a mess. But it is a sweet gumball, or also known as a witch's burr, and I've done a video on these. These are awesome in witchcraft. And so I have this as protection and warding, because that's why it's spiky, is to protect the seed inside. And this is what these are used for in witchcraft, for protection, spells, warding, things like that. And so of course that's what it stands for in my kit. And if this gets broken in my kit, you know, I can always replace it because they're in abundance out here. So let's see what's next. I like reaching in and just grabbing. Alright, so I have an antique button. My grandma and my mom have passed down just bucket loads of buttons. We have always collected buttons. That's like our witchcraft. I don't know why, we just love buttons. So I had a ton of them, and I picked this one, I think, because of its kind of bony look. Like, I don't know, it just looked very magical. So what does the button mean? The button means stress, because, you know, if you lose a button off your clothes, say you're at work, you're going to be stressed out. So to me, the button can stand for stress. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's see what's next. Ooh, have some quartz. Yeah. Quartz means spirituality, which is one of the meanings for the quartz crystal. It is associated with spirituality, so that's an easy one to remember for me. And it just looks very, I don't know, otherworldly, very magical. So that's going to remind me of spirituality. Let's see what's next. Ah, this was my mom's when she was a teenager. It is a vintage I'm a Beatles booster antique pin. So let's see, for that one I have it as meaning despair and grief, which you think, you know, the Beatles and the history and everything, and then, like, you know, this was my mom's, and when she was young, and, you know, you kind of despair for your younger self and your, you know, days gone by and everything. So that's what that is going to symbolize for me, and I just think it's super cool. I love using the vintage items in my bone throwing kit. Ooh, this is a good one. So I have a compass ring. It's a ring with a compass on it, so I'll never get lost. And I have it as meaning travel. Of course, you need your compass if you're going to travel. So that's a good one. That will be easy to remember. And like not losing your way and things like that. Alright, then I have some pink aura quartz, and it means happiness, because just looking at it makes me happy. It's beautiful, it's fun, it's cute, and it's just a very happy color. So that's happiness for me. Crystals make me happy. Oh, okay, I also have this ring, and in this case, we're gonna pretend like it's like an engagement ring or a wedding ring, and it symbolizes love, even though it's blue, you know, blue, I love blue. So anyway, that's what this ring means, is love. And it doesn't have to be just like relationship, like, you know, man, woman, or woman, whatever, kind of like, what is the word I'm looking for? Like physical love, like marriage type love. It can mean like mother-daughter love, like any kind of love, but it just sparks the thought of love in my mind. Does that make sense? Yep. Love, in whatever form it may take, because there's different kinds of love. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm crazy. All right, let's see. Okay, we have a rusted nail. A rusted nail, and the rusted nail means sickness, because like in hoodoo and things like that, I know if you want to bring sickness on someone, many times it's like a coffin nail, is what it kind of represents. You can bring sickness, misfortune on them with like a rusted nail. Like if you have like a poppet or something, you could put the rusted nail in the poppet in a certain place if you wanted to give them a headache or something, or, you know, a heart attack. You could put it in a certain spot on the poppet. Not that I do that kind of magic, but if you do, that's, you know, your choice. Your magic is your own. But I do know that it's done. And so that's what this means, and that's what it makes me think of. So I give a nod to it, and I respect that form of magic. Okay, this is a Pete the Cat Cool Cat token. And like I said, I'm a pre-K teacher, and years ago at a school I used to work at, for our positive behavior plan, if the students did something good, they would all have like a little necklace, and if they did something good, they would get a token. And we had lots of different tokens for different things. Different teachers had their own tokens and everything they could give out. And at the end of the 6 weeks, depending on what number tokens the kids had, they could go trade the tokens in for prizes. So they could like go shopping. So it gave like real world experience, as well as like teaching responsibility and character development. And so I had this, it just showed up in my life, you know, even years after. I don't even work at this school anymore, but that's how it works. But this, of course, to me means career, you know, and whatever career you have, if you're a lawyer, you know, you could, I don't know, use like a pin with your law firm on it, or, you know, just whatever you do in your career, whatever makes you think of your career, you know, that symbol can go in your kit, and this is my symbol for me. So like I say, my kit is cute and fun, and just a lot of stuff mixed in. All right, next we have pyrite, and pyrite is good for prosperity. Yep, prosperity. It's like called fool's gold, but you can use it to bring in prosperity and financial abundance, and so that's what it represents in my kit, prosperity. So that one's easy to remember because that is the actual meaning of pyrite. Okay, and then I have this little spotted rock that I painted with my friend, and so because we had fun, me and my friend, painting rocks one day, this makes me think of that day spent with my friend. And so this rock means friendship. So that's pretty cool. Very personalized. I see that my dog got into my magic room one day when I was at work, and he got a hold of my bone throwing kit right after I made it, and I was so mad, and I haven't like had a lot of time to spend like fixing it, and I see that my my wishbone is missing. And so he must have eaten it. But no worries. My friend Sadie gave me some extra wishbones from her Thanksgiving turkey. So I'm going to go grab one from my bone collection to replace the one that Briggs ate. Thanks, Briggs. Meaner. You think he's sorry? He doesn't look sorry, hiding behind my grimoire. Must have been good. So anyway, so a wishbone for me is going to, let's see, where is it? Wishbone. What does the wishbone? Of course, the wishbone signifies luck, as it does. You know, you break the wishbone, and whoever gets the piece with the big thing on top, you know, they're gonna have good luck or whatever. So I'm gonna go grab that, put it in with my kit, and then I will show you the mat, and then I'll do a little practice reading so you can kind of see how it's done. So alright guys, I have my wishbone, and I looked, and unless I have misplaced some, this is my last one. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap it in some like heavy cord or something, and probably like a, I don't know, evil eye or some kind of cute design. And that is also something that's used in hoodoo and things like that. You wrap your wishbone and you can make a charm out of it or whatever and keep it with you for luck and everything. And I think if I wrap it, it'll be more sturdy because this one is kind of flimsy. And you know, I'm going to be carrying this around in the bag. It's going to be rolling around with rocks and, you know, bones and everything, seashells, heavy items. So I don't want it to get broken. That would be the opposite of good luck. So anyway, that's probably what I'm going to do. But let me go ahead and put my charms back in the bag. Seashell, witch's burr, all of that. And then I'm going to show you the mat and how I made it. And like I say, if you want to make your own, I will post a link in the description below of this great site that this guy shows how to make a mat that has like all the information, perfect for beginners, so you'll know like what different parts of the mat mean what. So it's really great. I recommend it for beginners. And like I say, I use a, let me put my coffee down, because everything in my house has either ferret hair or dog hair on it. And that's just, you know, part of the blessing. And so I don't want to get dog hair in my coffee. But this is my mat. It's a large blue pillowcase. It's just what I had on hand. And like I say, I think I used a paint marker. I put something inside so it wouldn't bleed through. But I think for my friends, I'm going to use the fabric marker because I used a lighter color pillowcase for her. Her favorite color is purple, and I thought I had a purple marker, and I looked for a purple, you know, pillowcase, couldn't find it, and I've been procrastinating too long, so she's going to get that, and then maybe, I don't know, I'll add purple somehow. But anyway, so I'm going to lay this out and show you what the different parts mean. So let me lay it out, and my table's small, so I'll have to do it a little bit at a time because I can't, I guess I could lay it on the floor, that way we could see the whole thing. Yeah, so let me do that, let me get situated, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, I am by no means a professional videographer, and so I don't even know if you can see much of this. But I'm just going to tell you what's what. Of course I had to decorate it. At the top I put the moon phases, my pentacles, and then according to the website I used, don't mind my feet if they get in the video, you make a rectangle with a circle in the middle. It says ego. And you divide the rectangle into 4 sections. And then up at the top, on the left side is past, in the middle is present, and on the right is future. Okay, so the first rectangle on the left over here, it is a positive high. Alright, and it is the air sign, which means mental, mental capabilities, mental themes, things like that. It means like the inner world, spiritual and religious life. It's high intensity. It's got influence for the past, positive past influence. Okay, and then right here, this line dividing the top of the rectangle to the bottom this is your consciousness. All right, and this is below, and this is above. As above, so below. So there's a lot of themes to take into consideration. All right, the second little aspect of the rectangle is the spirit and the fire section. This is where we get into our collective consciousness, like relationships with our Father, career. It's very high intensity. It has to do with the future influence, and it's a positive future influence because it's above. So this is the sky, the air, and the spirit up here. All right. And so the above section, these two rectangles at the top of the main rectangle have to do with your consciousness, things you are conscious of, things like that, above. Now below, these two rectangles at the bottom, they have to do with things that are a part of our subconscious that we might not be as aware of, things that have to do with more negativity, maybe your shadow self, things like that. And so this is the low negative on the left, and then the right is the earth, mother, earth, matter, body, things like that. All right, now this left rectangle at the bottom is for water. It has to do with our emotions, our instincts, things we create in our unconscious self. And it is low intensity. It has to do with our past, influences from the past, and negative past influences. And then the right rectangle at the bottom is the earth, and it has to do with our physical self, connectedness to like mother, primary, whereas this one was father, our primary attachment rather. Our body image, it's very low intensity, and it is for our future. So this side is future, this side is past, and anything that falls kind of in the middle is present. And this rectangle has to do with the negative influences. So that kind of lines everything out, and you see all of the different sections, the different elements, past, present, future, they're all connected to ego. Okay, so that's important to note. So how you do this is you cast your charms, and then you intuitively, you spend time thinking about where the charms fell, not only in regard to the mat and what each placement on the mat means, but how the charms work and interconnect together. Like if two charms are right on top of each other, they are working together in a situation right then, you know, in this thing. Like you have to figure out intuitively how they are connected, how they're working together, what that placement means. And that's what I think is so much fun about this kind of divination is it's very intuitive. You know, it's not like, yes, this mat is pretty clear cut. It shows where everything is in regards to the past, present, future, subconscious, and the elements and things like that. But once you add the charms, that's kind of like the chaos, you know, and you can't, it's different for everybody, and it's going to be interpreted differently. So this is a tool that will help you get in touch with your subconscious and your intuition. And, you know, your perspective on a reading may be totally different than someone else's. And that's why it's so personal and so beautiful. And I highly recommend, if you're at all interested, that you at least study this form of divination and give it a go, because it's super, super personal. So let me get my charms. Where did I put them? Here they are. And so this is what you would do. This is not a real reading. I'm not doing it for any specific purpose other than to show you how it's done. Usually, you know, you would make like more of a ritual. It doesn't have to be like high ritual, like anything fancy. You know, you can use this daily, but you do want to kind of put some respect to it. You kind of want to honor the elements and the mat, and you want to spend time meditating or getting into your sacred space. You know, you might want to have some crystals around or candles, some herbs, just whatever, drumming, some music, whatever gets you into that sacred space where you can connect to spirit and connect to your higher self. You want to, maybe if you have deities that you work with, you want to invite them in. You know, just make it special, make it meaningful. So let's just say that if this was a real reading, we've already done all that. We're in our circle or whatever, you know, we have protected ourselves and everything, and just invited spirit in to work with us. And so then you just kind of shake it up, you know, kiss your charms, thank them, ask them to guide you, do whatever you got to do. And then you just close your eyes. And you can use your whole charms, or if you're working for a specific purpose, like if you have a question that you need answered, and you only want to work within a certain framework, like if you're asking about your career, you would maybe just take out the charms that have to do with that meaning and ask spirit to guide you in that sense. But you definitely want to have like some kind of question, even if it's in general, and you just want to say like, what guidance do I need today? You know, you ask a question and then you work to receive your answer. But for just this purpose, I'm just going to cast all my charms. And so I'm meditating with them, I'm working with them, I'm inviting spirit in. I'm going to close my eyes. And I'm just kind of going to move around so I don't really just, you know, plop them all out in one space. I want them to go where they need to go. So here we go. Alright. So they all landed on the mat. Now, I think that if some of them fell off the mat, that would be a sign that they aren't going to be used in this working. Now, one thing you can do, like if some of them are turned over, like the pin is turned over, you could take that as like in tarot cards, if it's reversed, it could have the opposite meaning, or you could choose to have that be that they're not going to be in use. So it's really up to you and what you want your meaning to be, what you want to work with. But let spirit know, let your charms know, get it in your mind and heart ahead of time what it's gonna mean. So let's just say for the purpose of this that we just said if they're turned over, we're not gonna work with them. So, but not all of them, like, you know, your wishbone won't be turned over. So I don't know if that's what you want to do. It's up to you. Think about it. But so let's say we're not going to use the cross or the compass or the Beatles pin. So those are out. Now we have some that are touching. So our trauma bone, our broken rib bone, is touching the seashell, and under it is the quartz. So just in that, we could do a reading in that. So we could say, all right, so my trauma might be the underlying issue between how I view my self-image, my beauty. They might be interconnected. Some past trauma might be impacting my self-image. And tucked up in there is my spirituality. So perhaps there is a blockage because of past trauma. And see, it is touching the past. It is overlapping the present, and it's impacting the future. So even my future spirituality and self-image is going to be impacted by past trauma. And it might even have to do with home, because, you know, my desert rose means home in the past. You know, my trauma might have come from home, family, and it may really be affecting my ego. See here, it's all connected. My love life is connected to ego and my self-image there. So let's see. And then this spirit aspect right here, it has to do with fire. And it has to do with like my father, relationships, things like that. So those things are going to be impacted not only in the present, but the future. So see, just these few little charms here give us a lot of information about our psyche that we can explore. So I recommend having a journal and really writing all this out step by step. It may be tedious, or you can record it if you don't feel like writing it out, that kind of thing. So, but this is a process for self-improvement, for getting to know ourselves or whoever we're working with or doing the reading for. So it's not going to be like super quick and easy. You really want to dive deep with this because there is so much going on, and there's so much information about your life that you can discover. I'm going to leave it at that because I think you get the basic idea. You can just tell yourself a story based on your life experiences, or get your person you're reading for talking about their life experiences. It's like a therapy session, you know, so really dive deep, really explore how all of these different aspects connect and intertwine and impact your past, present, and future, and just really dive in with your intuition. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if there's anything that you would do differently for your personal bone reading. Let me know just, I mean, what you think, if you like it, if you don't like it, anything you would change up. Let's learn from each other and support each other and encourage each other. I would love to hear your opinions, your thoughts, anything you could add to or expand on, anything I've shown you. So just let me know. I would love for this to be interactive because I'm learning. I'm by no means a professional at all. This is only the second little practice reading I've done. I've not actually done a real reading before, but I want to share my learning experience and process with you. So definitely let me know. I love you all. Blessed be. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye. Paint the sky.